Hello and welcome to Diecast Restos for this restoration of a not strictly speaking Chrysler. The Imperial was one of the first 8 castings released by Lone Star for their Impy line in 1966. It is based on a 1963 model year Imperial in 1:73 scale, featuring opening hood, trunk and doors. Dual headlights were fitted to Impy versions, but these were removed and the casting modified for the 1969 Flyers issue. These also had low friction wheels. As ever, I've collected a few of these in need of repair that I can interchange parts on. This one is a repainted Flyers model which has had the Impy nameplate cast over. I've another with better condition paint but a broken trunk, and lastly another Impy missing its wheels. I've often found Impys missing their wheels and they're really difficult to source. Here's an Impy Imperial in box fresh condition, and this is the real car that it is based on. Impy versions were most commonly painted in a metallic light blue like this one once was, or they came in a pale green or a dark metallic yellow gold. Interior pieces varied in colour between red, white and blue, before most frequently being seen in an orangey red on Flyers issues. Flyers were almost always painted in a dark metallic blue, though rare issues exist in green and dark red metallic. As was commonly the case, a chrome-plated model was released for the Japanese Silver Flyers series. Wheels on the Flyers were either discs like on mine or the 5-spoke Ross-style type. 1975 issues, which featured a rooftop-mounted plastic boat, had their hoods cast shut, presumably because this clashed with the overhang of the vessel. The Imperial was in production until the series' demise in 1976. Additionally, a police marked Imperial was offered at number 16 in the range. This was painted white, had a police decal on the hood, and a blue rooftop beacon. A Dutch Polity version was painted blue, and there was also a rare red Fire Chief version. The original 1926 Chrysler Imperial was the company's top-of-the-range offering. It was a favourite choice for executives, government officials, royalty and celebrities for many years. The cars were positioned as Chrysler's prestige offering to rival Cadillac, Continental, Cord, Duesenberg, Lincoln, Packard and Pierce Arrow. In 1955, Chrysler advised state licensing bureaus that Imperial would be registered as a separate make. This was done in order to more directly compete with GM's Cadillac and Ford's Lincoln luxury-focused marques. Regardless of this move, Imperials are often incorrectly referred to as Chrysler Imperials from this period, although in 1971-74, models did receive Chrysler badging. This erroneous reference was not helped by the fact that Chrysler did little to make Imperial more of a standalone marque. Unlike Cadillac and Lincoln, Imperial had few if any dedicated showrooms. Instead, they continued to be sold through Chrysler dealerships. Despite this, Imperial continued to be utilised by Chrysler on 6 generations of cars, spanning 1955 to 1975 and then 1981 to 1983. Virgil Exner designed the first generation car, which was complete with tail fins, a jet-age dashboard, and was powered by Chrysler's Hemi V8. 1957 saw the introduction of the second generation Imperial. It now had its own platform that helped set it apart from any other division of Chrysler. Cars were wider, allowing for unparalleled shoulder room. It had a biplane front bumper with full-width grille, quad headlamps, and even taller tail fins. The new model outsold Lincoln for the first time. Its torsion-air suspension gave it a floaty ride, and features like push-button automatic transmissions were years ahead of their time. The 1961 to 1963 model year cars were more refined, but they did introduce one of the more controversial styling elements, its freestanding headlamps, set apart from the fenders like jewelled eyes. Something Lone Star actually recreated with their scale 1963 model. It had a new grille and sleeker lines, while inside it had power seats, automatic headlight dimmers and an ornate dashboard. By 1964, the fins were gone. The 64 to 66 models brought a clean modern look to the Imperial. Those freestanding headlights remained until 1966, but the rest of the body grew more formal. These were the last true Imperials, built on their own platform separate from Chrysler, as 1967 brought the all-new third generation. It shared its C platform with other Chrysler division products, as well as the Chrysler New Yorker, Newport and Town & Country. The styling was clean, upright and formal. The fins and flare were now gone, replaced by slab sides, hidden headlamps and wide chrome grilles. By the early 70s, Imperials had grown to be massive. The 1973 model stretched over 232 inches long, 5.9 metres, and weighed almost 5,000 pounds, 2,200 kilos. The 1974 fifth generation model was still technically an Imperial, but passers-by would have to look twice to tell. It had minimal differences to the Chrysler New Yorker. The Imperial had lost much of what once set it apart. They were mechanically competent and well appointed, but no longer distinctive. Sales declined sharply, coinciding with oil embargoes, tightening emissions laws and decreasing interest in the full-size luxury car market. After the 1975 model, Imperial would be discontinued. But the name wasn't gone for good. In 1981, with Lee Iacocca at the helm of Chrysler, Imperial made a return. The flagship was brought back to assure the public that Chrysler had a future, with the company facing bankruptcy. It was downsized and defeatured to fit into the personal luxury car segment. Here it would compete with Cadillac's Eldorado and the Continental Mark VI. It was sleek and full of futuristic innovations, such as a digital dashboard with a voice warning system. Owing to Lee Iacocca's close personal relationship with Frank Sinatra, a Frank Sinatra edition Imperial was available with special blue paint, a blue leather interior, and a matching set of Sinatra cassette tapes in a custom console. Priced at just over $22,000, this was a substantial amount more than the standard Imperial at $18,500. It was already more expensive than many Cadillacs at the time. After technological problems plagued the 6th generation car, the plug was pulled for good on the mark in 1983. In 1990, Chrysler brought the Imperial name back as a model name on their Y-body full-size sedan offering, which lasted until 1993. The last and most recent use of the Imperial name was on a 2006 concept car which was presented at the North American International Auto Show. It was mooted for production, but these plans were dropped in 2007. So here we go then, reassembling my two salvaged Lone Star Imperials. I had to borrow some hub-style wheels from another beaten and bruised Lone Star model. As I only had one set, it means that I'm on the lookout for another set for the second Impy Imperial. As for the second Flyers casting, I wasn't totally happy with the trunk fix, so I'll probably save that one for spares, especially if I want to restore one of the police versions of this in the future. The Impy's rivet post was too narrow to drill and tap, so that snaps together, leaving only the Flyers screw separating us from finishing this build. Here's a look at the Impy model first. It was missing its hard to find hub wheels and its paint had been well and truly decimated. I love the dual headlights on this one, which I have managed to salvage and reuse. This is certainly one of the better Lone Star Impy models. The hub wheels fit with its 1:73 scale perfectly, where on other models they just look too small. So let's check this one out with them fitted. I am really very pleased with the final result on this casting. Lone Star really did have a knack for recreating big American barges. The Tamiya polycarbonate sky blue anodized aluminium and the gloss top coat look great. They're a good match to the original shade. I laid down a full complement of chrome, plus I added in those fin mounted tail lights. Tell me which of the two you prefer down in the comments. Here was my repainted Flyers version. Aside from the chipping, the previous owner did a nice job painting on the vinyl roof. I think these disc style wheels look far better than the 5 spokes on this particular model. That said, I still much prefer the Impy wheeled variant. I wanted to restore this one back to its original clear blue over silver colour, but I've never been interested in adding on these sporadic stripes you see on some Flyers. But this is how it turned out. Again, a good colour match, yet I still prefer the Impy. The missing dual headlights, the slightly oversized wheels, and the brasher colour firmly puts my vote with the Impy version. But what about your vote? Let me know your preferred restoration down in the comments. Also, if you haven't already, please subscribe and help support the channel by joining up for a YouTube or Patreon membership. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again for the next one. Bye for now.